Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Smashing Maths Problems with MRT Maths. So today we are going to learn a primary tree technique, and this technique is actually called guess and check. Okay, so guess and check is a bit like the fire extinguisher. It's a bit like the hammer that you find in the train system, in the public bus. We tend to use it as a last resort. Okay, as a last resort when we have absolutely no idea on how to proceed, and we will try to do some form of trial and error, some form of guessing and checking our way through. So today I'll be showing you how to do this guess and check using the traditional 7 columns as how I used to teach it in school. So how to remember 7 columns, how to remember guess and check. As you know, 7 is a lucky number, and 7 actually represents the number of days in a week. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right down to it. So Raju threw some darts. For every star he hit, he scored 3 points. So I will do my basic annotation, and I'll point to the star, and I will circle the 2 to point to the sun. So as we know, every star 3 points, every sun 2 points, and he actually achieved 30 hits, and because of that he scored 72 points. And thereafter, how many stars did he hit? So you realize that from this point onwards I will stop using the highlighters as part of my annotation, and that is because for the latest instructions from the Singapore Examinations Board, they do not encourage children to use highlighters in many of the primary schools. So likewise, as per my instructional videos, you will also stop seeing that. So this is to be aligned with what is allowed or disallowed in Singapore. And this is also for the benefit of the children who are watching this video, okay? But I would strongly advocate that you still carry out the pencil annotation, which is what you're seeing in brown, okay? Now, how do we do the guess and check? And how do we construct these 7 columns? So my first column will be about the stars. So I'll just write down star. And next to it, right, I'll put there star points. Okay, star points. So this is like a shortcut. It's like a short form. And a reminder, when you are doing your guess and check table, please only use pencil, okay? Do not use pen. So using pencil is a lot easier for you to maneuver, okay? So star points, then we have sun, and we have sun points, means the points that came from the sun. Then we have this total hits, or rather this refers to the star plus the sun. Okay, the star plus the sun. Then we will go into total points. Last but not least, since this is guess and check, which the children actually start to learn in Singapore when they are in primary 3 or 3rd grade, as well as the same as their counterparts in other parts of the world, there must be a check column, okay? So we have a check. Then this is our heading, and we have to double check that indeed we have 7 columns. Yes, so now that we have 7 columns, how should we proceed? And as they said, he had 30 hits, which means that he threw the darts 30 times. So I do not advise children to go with 30 stars and 0 sun, okay? So I'll advise children to actually start in the middle. So as you know, 30 is an even number. So for 30 divided by 2 is actually 15. So what if the number is an odd number like 33? then how should we proceed? If we take 33 divided by 2, it's actually 16.5. And if it's 16.5, I will advise children to start with 16 and then 17 for the other item. So it could be 16 for stars and 17 for sun. Okay? So back to the question, 30 hits. So I'll go with 15 stars. I'll go with 15 sun. And I have to double check that the stars and the sun, they must always add up to 30. Okay? So 15 stars, each star earns us 3 points. So my equation will be 15 times 3, which leads us to 45. Okay? And if there are 15 suns, if we land on 15 suns, 15 times 2, it gets us to 30. Then I will add up 45 and 30, and it will give us 75. So big question here. In the check column, what should we do? Is it a tick or a cross? So our goal, our target is actually to get to 72 points. And as of now, we are at 75 points. So definitely it is a cross for me. Then thereafter, I will draw a line across. So next question. Should we have more stars or should we have more sun? If your answer is that we need to have more sun, okay, congratulations to you. You are correct. Okay, that's because our target, our goal is 72 points. And as of now, when I have 15 stars and 15 suns, the total points is 75, which is more than our target, more than our goal. This means that I got to reduce my stars and I got to increase my suns, because suns will earn me lesser points, whereas stars will earn me more points. So definitely I will want to increase my sun by 1. Okay, I can try to do it by 1. I can also try to do it by 2. But since this is my first video about guess and check for everyone who are watching right now, so I will do it step by step for you to learn. Okay, so one common mistake is that for children who manage to increase the sun by 1, they still kept their stars at 15. Okay, which is why there needs to be a column for the star and the sun, which I'm pointing right now with the blue arrow. Okay, because if I were to add 15 plus 16, I will get 31, and that will be wrong, because I will need my total hits to be 30. It cannot exceed 30, neither can it be lesser than 30. Okay, so for the stars, we are going to reduce it by 1. So rule of thumb, if the sun went up by 1, the star must go down by 1, such that added together it still gives me 30. Okay, so 14 times 3, okay, 14 times 3 is actually 42, and then 16 times 2 is actually 32. And when I add them up, I have 42 plus 32, it gets me to 74. Okay, and it is still a cross for me. Okay, I am not at my answer yet. So our target is 72. So at this point in time, you'll be wondering, you'll be asking me, Teacher Ray, can I just go directly to the answer? Do I really need to do them step by step by step? Meaning, do I need to reduce the sun further to 14? Do I actually need to have so many rows? The answer is no. You can actually go directly to the answer. So even if you are so lucky, as in you hit the jackpot for the guess and check, the school system will still allocate you the marks, because the table in itself, right, it will give you method marks already. Okay, it will give you method marks, and it's a nice number of method marks. So that is why you need to invest the time to learn your guess and check properly, which is also why I believe they actually teach this technique in primary 3, and they will continually revise this throughout the years, all the way through for the child to enter primary 6, or 6th grade, and as you know, the child must sit for the PSLE, Primary School Leaving Examination, at the end of the year. Okay, so if you realize that when your son goes up by 1, your points actually drop by 1, and we are 2 points away from our target. Okay, 2 points away. So perhaps I can just directly reduce my son further by 2. So instead of putting 14 for the son, I will just go ahead and put 13. So if I have 13 sons, the stars must be 17 because they must add up to 30. Okay, so from there I will just work out 17 times 3, which gives me 51. 13 times 2, which give us so you realize that I actually made a mistake. Okay, I actually made a mistake because my sons are supposed to increase, they're not supposed to decrease, they're not supposed to go down. So if I were to proceed with 13 times 2, 26, right, and I add up my 51 and 26, I'll realize that my total points increase to 77, which is not what we want. Okay, and this brings us back to the earlier point when I advised everyone you must use pencil when you are doing your guess and check, because there is a lot of erasing to do, there are a lot of amendments that you need to make. Okay, many amendments that are required. So let me just correct myself and put down the correct answer. So I will increase my son by 2 to 18. I'll reduce my star by 2 to 12. So now it should be correct. So 12 times 3 gets us to 36. Then 18 times 2 also gets us to 36. And when we add up 12 and 18, it brings us to 30. And what about the total points? 36 plus 36 gets us to 72. So this is the jackpot moment that we're all waiting for. Okay, at this point in time, you can actually pop the champagne and celebrate because we have found the answer. But hold on just yet. What do we need to find? We got to find how many stars. Okay, how many stars? So if we zoom in to the correct column, okay, to the stars column, you will realize that there are 12 stars, which is why our answer, abbreviated by ANS, it will be 12. And once you get to this stage, you can be rest assured, you can be very happy that you have managed to find the correct answer. So be very careful. If they are asking you for stars, which is 12, do not give them the answer for the sun. Okay, because if that happens, you will lose your 1 answer mark, okay, which is extremely precious to you. So once again, we have come to the end of smashing maths problems with MRT Maths. So this is Teacher Ray signing off. Hopefully everyone learned something new today with regards to guess and check. Okay, so I picked a primary 4 question, but I'm showing you a primary 3 technique that is used by 9-year-olds in Singapore. That's also taught and learned by 9-year-olds in Singapore. So I'll see everyone in the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye bye.